Hi everyone, welcome to a subscriber update video. Shamelessly, we make these in order to fill in when we're behind on doing videos, so you guys got something to watch. We've got a whole ton of stuff going on, but John has had a project I've been helping him with, which is kind of turned into a trike, but apparently I have to weld up some sort of other thing on it in order to make it do pivoty things and stuff over on his YouTube channel. We have had Sweet Pea and the Big Block mini bike out in order to go drag racing, and we set a new top speed, and we had another mini bike come and set an even higher top speed. So you guys are going to have to go over on RCG Racing in order to go and see what the mini bike shenanigans are doing. John actually ran around the track with that thing for 2 hours, and it still never dropped a single bar on that giant battery that we ended up cramming in the thing. So that's working out really good. Jethro is really enjoying the go-kart and the fact that we made it so it's a heck of a lot nicer for him. I've got a bunch of different back and forth questions that people have asked me, so we're just going to walk around and cover some of them. One of the things has been ongoing with the tarp situation. A lot of people pointed out the fact that if I screw the tarp on, I'm just going to punch a bunch of holes into my board and eventually screw that up. So what I have debated at this point is if I take this bar and I weld a piece of EMT conduit onto it with some standoffs, then I can go from here to here through that bar with ratchet straps that are really cheap and be able to pull the tent tight. And then the other thing that'll let me do is from here across, I can put a beam so that it holds these from trying to bow in against each other. I think that's a really good idea, and I appreciate people talking that out with me. A lot of people, I don't know why this didn't pick up in the gantry build video, even though I think I said it twice. I do intend to triangulate that section of the gantry so that it looks kind of railroad truss type idea, because it is going to primarily get used on the tent side of the gantry for heavier stuff. So don't worry, that's in the works. Probably this fall though, because I'm not planning on lifting anything too heavy with it until that time. The lights, a lot of people have asked about these motion sense lights and whether I actually like them in the long term. And the answer is I love them. Did I get sponsored for them? Yes, I did the video as a sponsorship, but without question, I intend to buy a couple of more of them. I really would like to have probably one stationed. Okay, so there's one right there, and it casts light basically walkable in the middle of the night to about halfway down through the garage to about where I am now. So I think what I'd like to do is put another one over this, maybe replace this one with one of those so that I can get to the grab and go tools that are halfway down, because that also would cast enough light for getting to the laser cutter, getting to the control computer, getting to the furnace to start it in the middle of winter, like an hour before we come out here, and John being able to walk in and get to his area without tripping on everything. So I love them. I absolutely love the motion sensing large lights that we put in that video. The other question I've gotten a lot has been the Monte Carlo, and why haven't we done any videos on it? Well, the answer to the question is there's this weird phenomenon on YouTube called the dream car phenomenon. And basically, a lot of YouTubers will have a dream car that they're trying to build into on YouTube in order to be able to get and have that car that they've always been after their entire life. And so they go from getting thousands upon thousands of views on whatever their projects are to basically getting jack diddly for views on their dream car. And it's a recorded phenomenon that has happened across many YouTubers for years. Dude in Blue did an actual dedicated video on it. I think Tiberius did a video on it. VinWiki has done a couple of videos that mention the phenomenon. The Monte Carlo build, no matter how much I put my heart into it, does not pull views on YouTube that make it actually worth making the videos on. So, with that said, we have decided to enroll in the YouTube membership program because, I don't know, I've got to be able to supplement stuff, and I haven't figured out what to do. Patreon works for what Patreon is. PayPal is dead. Nobody makes donations through PayPal anymore or support. The Amazon gift list works really well for small items and stuff when people want to help out. But I don't know. That's where I'm at. A lot of people have asked what's up with the white van. I don't really want to give too much away at this point, but let's just say the chassis in it and the drivetrain probably will not end up being in a van again. We'll word it that way. Let me see here. Oh, the golf cart. People have asked about when I'm going to bring back the golf cart. So the golf cart had a shift linkage issue, and basically because it is an extended chassis golf cart, see how long it is in comparison to a regular golf cart? It uses a special cable and special shift assembly and special everything, which basically translates to nobody makes it anymore. So I've had to come up with an alternative idea, and I think we finally came up with it. We're going to do that as an experiment, probably either next weekend or the weekend after. We did figure out an idea for being able to do the shifter and make our own shifter that actually will probably play into shifter ideas for other projects. So John's golf cart, we're going to revive and bring back out because we've got to start cleaning up the yard of all the junk, whether I'm going to make money or not. If I have to junk at break even in order to clean the yard, well, that's what we're going to do. Let me see here. What was the other question that was showing up? Oh, the Power Wheels. Okay. So a lot of you guys have pointed out that we have the Power Wheels junkyard and we have a Jethro. Well, Jethro is very smart for his age, mechanically, but at the end of the day, he's still only almost 2 years old. He doesn't quite have the skills yet for Power Wheels, and so John and I have decided we will probably leave the junkyard Power Wheel until next summer, and then start doing revivals out of it. Now, that's not to say that if you are somebody local to me and you want to drop us off a Power Wheel or have us come grab one for parts or something like that, that we won't be starting to do that again. I've had a couple of people reach out that they, you know, had a couple of units or whatever and things like that. I'm not going to be doing any revivals for Power Wheels this summer, but next summer, without question, we will bring Jethro into the fold and start doing Power Wheels revivals. I'm actually already picking and pulling a couple of items here and there off of Amazon in order to be able to stage up for doing that again like we used to with John. Let me see. Oh, you guys got a hold of me about Rust-Oleum because I commented about Tractor Supply and stuff like that. And because I need to Rust-Oleum this garage door. And you guys were right that certain stores get better pricing for Rust-Oleum than other stores and things like that. And so I started shopping around, and literally a store about 500 feet away from Tractor Supply in my hometown gets better pricing than Tractor Supply does. And so you guys were right. Tractor Supply gets screwed on their pricing. Other stores get way better pricing. But the caveat to that is that Tractor Supply seems to be about the only place that sells the hardener that works with Rust-Oleum. So no matter what, I'm stuck paying $20 for that hardener if I want. But it is what it is. If I can buy the Rust-Oleum at $18 a quart instead of the insanity that Tractor Supply wants, then I'll spend the $20 just to let Tractor Supply fleece me a little bit. Let me see here. I'm debating the GT 6000 and pulling it apart and trying to fix all of the maniacal during snowstorm fixing. We're trying to set up to be able to do some plowing videos this winter. I've got to figure out, like, I don't know, for lack of a better way to say it, a camera umbrella. Because I've tried using GoPros to film snow videos in the past, and inevitably, if you try to film in a snowstorm, the camera gets glazed over within a minute or so. And the Insta360 doesn't like cold temperatures, and it sucks. It's a big giant fiasco. So, I don't know. I'm debating trying to figure out a way to film some plow videos and making some plow units out of machines that really shouldn't be used to plow. I don't know. That's really kind of a weird idea. But anyways, so in the not a weird thing to use for plowing, I am probably going to do a revival on this GT 5000. That is one of the last Roper 633A high-low 6-speed transmissions that was ever made. It's the last series of them, so it is a disc brake instead of a band brake, like the older GT 6000. And, so yeah, the deck is bad in that, and I'm going to rip the deck off and probably make it into the secondary plow tractor, because we've got a spare plow assembly, which is the crappy plow assembly from Craftsman, not the actual dozer plow. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, let me give 5 seconds to walk over here. So, let me flip this over the corner of my shoulder. See that plow assembly right there? That is your standard plow assembly from Craftsman. And now I'll show you the difference of a dozer plow assembly. See all the reinforcement? The upper edge is reinforced, the bottom edge is reinforced. It's got 2 ribs at a 1/4 inch thick reinforcement, plus the stronger trip spring. There is a huge difference if you hit ice with one of the dozer plows versus if you hit ice with one of the snow plows. The snow plow that I have was free because it's bent. Because somebody hit an ice chunk, because we're down on the coast and that's the kind of stuff we plow. Yeah. Otherwise than that, I think that's a pretty good update. Let's pop in here and see if John has anything he wants to say for an update. Alright, John, you got anything to add?
I'm working on a project on my channel.
Well, we did that at the start of this video.
It'll take a little bit. It's getting there.
Okay, it'll take a little bit getting there. Translation, Dad's got to do a bunch of welding on it today, and so you'll probably see a video on John's channel, well, let's be realistic, probably next weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so, otherwise than that, Jethro, where'd you go? Jethro, can you say bye-bye? Good boy, you're getting really good at the YouTuber bye-bye wave. That's right. Alright, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.